sketchy. We are just off of Spencer Highway. We're in a residential area, lots of homes. Someone was nice enough to let us come back in this property, and you can actually see where that fire is, where that pipeline is. This is a crazy vantage point right now because all of the authorities are moving the media to safer locations. This area, all the power has been cut off, so there's no power in this area right now. And as far as we know, we are allowed to be here at this point. We are a safe enough distance away, but you can really see where that pipeline explosion began and how this fire has just been billowing out of here for hours. We ran into this gentleman here, Kyle Williams. He lives in this area. Kyle, what happened this morning? Did you hear when the explosion went off?
So we didn't hear the explosion, but what was happening was our power was going off and on, off and on, off and on, and it woke me up because of it, right? And in doing so, basically, it pretty much alerted us to something was going on because it wasn't normal, right? And at that point, we kind of got up, and then we got alerts on our telephones that something had happened and a shelter in place, so to speak, right? And so at that point, we started investigating, and this is really what's happened, so.
Have you ever had an issue with this pipeline ever before in your time living here?
No. And so the way pipelines operate, this is not a normal situation, right? And so there's only a few ways that this can potentially happen, right? Is either human failure or neglect, okay? Or potential sabotage.
And we're hearing it may possibly have been human failure with a car being close to there. I know you're following our coverage, so it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. As far as the neighborhoods, how far do you live from here, and do you have power?
So I live about 4 blocks away from here, and I've got power right this moment, but all of the people that are right here in this part of the subdivision do not. And so as long as the fire continues to burn the way it's burning, really about the only thing that you have to worry about is the power lines, and because of the proximity to them. And that's why the power is cut out, because of the intense heat. You can feel the heat from here, right? And as long as that keeps relieving like that, then you don't have the potential explosion situation, because it's being relieved out where it's coming from, right? And so the only way to stop a fire like this, an industrial fire, is to close off your emergency valves and allow that to depressure so that the fire actually extinguishes itself. And so the fire departments are here actually keeping structures around it cool so they don't catch on fire.
And we saw that. We were just up close to where the closest point that we could get, and then we were told to move over by the Chili's, which is right around here.
Yes, it's the front of the subdivision, actually. But you can't see anything from there, really.
Well, we got to look at the firefighters putting all of that water on these people's homes. And have you talked to any of your neighbors or people who live around here? What are they saying that they saw and heard?
So most of them were at work when this happened, so they only got alerted to it and started to make their way home. But as far as it goes, I haven't talked to anybody that actually heard when it actually went off, that it was something that either the power started to alert people or something like that.
Well, it is crazy just how hot it is as we're standing here, and this heat can be felt, I'm sure, for kind of miles around the perimeter because we are pretty far away. Have you seen it from any other vantage points?
So I went up to the very front of the subdivision earlier where the Chili's was, where y'all were at, and I got, some video from right there. And then basically went around to the back of the subdivision, and knowing that I could have access to the right-of-way over here from the subdivision, then that's when I came over here to investigate.
I mean, it's just crazy. It's a hot day. Firefighters have been working nonstop. It sounds like, it's interesting because the fire sometimes sounds louder and then it kind of calms down and then it goes louder. What have you noticed just standing out here for the whole day in terms of how big the fire was earlier in comparison to now, or has it been pretty much the same?
So you can tell that the pressure on the pipeline has started to go down, right? And so they do have the valves closed. And so that's why the actual flame itself and the sound is actually going down. And so that will continue until it pretty much goes out.
What about your family? Are they safe right now?
They are safe, but my wife is concerned. That's, she was worried about having to potentially evacuate because they were evacuating some areas, right? But we're not under an evacuation at the moment. We just are having power issues, so.
I know, and it's a hot day to have power issues, big concerns over here. And the sound of this fire coming out of there, it's noticeable, it's loud, and scary.
Yes, and so probably when it first started was the loudest, right, as well as the fire itself, because you're looking at a pipeline. The average pressure run anywhere from 600 psi to 1,200 pounds, and so that's an extreme amount of volume that's coming out of however big a hole that this is, or a relief point that it's actually coming out of. So that's where you get that loud sound from, that extreme movement of gases through there. But as well, on an industrial fire, the only way to put them out is to let them burn out.
Well, Kyle, thank you so much. We appreciate you giving us some insight as to what you saw, what you heard, and what you've experienced all day. I hope you stay safe, and I hope you get power back on eventually, but it doesn't seem that way until this thing is fully out.
Yeah, so people just know that these things kind of happen, and we just have to work around it. So just be safe and know that people are working on it that need to be working on it.
All right, thanks so much. We appreciate it. And for Kyle, or for Rashi and Anthony back in the studio, I can tell you that you can literally feel the heat from where we're standing, and we are pretty far away. So if that just sheds any light on how powerful this fire still is, even though the liquid gas has been shut off, I mean, there's still obviously a lot left here. It's very hot, it's very loud, and it's definitely still a huge concern, especially for the people who live closer to where this fire is still burning.